joke.
So now we can get Carolyn's last joke on the recording.
All right, this guy goes to the gas station early in the morning, and he says to the mechanic, "My turn signal isn't working right." And the mechanic says, "You know, it's rush hour. I'm really busy. Can you leave your car here and I'll look at it later in the day?" And the man says, "Sure, I work right across the street." So at the end of the day, the guy comes back and the mechanic says, "I looked at your car and I couldn't find anything wrong with it. But if you have any more problems, bring it back." Well, the next morning, the guy pulls into the gas station and he says, "The turn signal isn't working right." Mechanic says, "Well, could you leave it here and I'll look at it again?" At the end of the second day, the guy comes back and the mechanic says, "You know, I looked at it and I really couldn't find anything wrong with it. But if you have any more problems, bring it back." The third morning, the guy pulls into the gas station again. And he says, "My turn signal isn't working right." And the mechanic says, "Can you show me what the problem is?" So he starts the car and he hits the lever for the turn indicator. He jumps out and he runs to the back of the car and he says, "Look at it. Now it's working, now it's not. Now it's working, now it's not."
Oh dear. All righty then.
Yeah, what's this mean? Yeah, she's not going to tell me.
Sorry, I'm just finding my button. It just means laughing. Everyone's laughing.
Oh, that's laughing. All right. I thought it meant lame
Like that.
joke.
Like the gal that's driving in a 45-mile-an-hour zone and she's driving 60 and she races down the street and the cop starts to follow her. He's got his lights on and she cuts across an intersection into a gas station. She runs in and comes back out of the restroom and the cop says, "Ma'am, do you have any idea how fast you were going?" And she said, "Yeah, but you didn't think I was going to make it in time, did you?"
Oh.
Two cupcakes go into an oven to get baked into cupcakes, and the first one says, "Man, it's hot in here," and the second one goes, "Holy cow, it's a talking cupcake." It's shorter.
Got it. All right.
Did my image go black? All I see is my name.
Your video not on? Oh, now.
Video's not on, Carolyn.
Yeah, you got to turn yourself on.
Hmm.
You tab around a little bit, you'll see a thing there that says start video, I think.
I got a new camera.
Okay,
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna begin my share, which means I'm gonna check out, and I look forward to seeing you
Well-
after the presentation.
6:57.
Hi,
Who's
everyone. Hi,
Or you can Alt V and it'll turn your
Carolyn.
video
Alt
on.
V? Good job.
Carol and
Thanks.
Jim.
Yeah, Carolyn, try Alt V, see if that turns your camera on. If it doesn't, then you got a new camera, but it's not working yet. Oops.
Now I can't find my mouse.
You're on your own for that one.
Okay. Oh, all right.
There
Hello,
you are.
Janice Jackson. It's nice to see you. It's Carol Wheatley here.
Hi, Carol.
Good to see you.
Jim's there. Neil's here. Andy's here.
I was on mute, Carol.
Hi, Andy.
Good evening. Hope all are doing well.
Hi, Andy.
Hey, good evening.
Hello.
All right, folks, we're about ready to start the beginning credit music, etc. So everybody may want to mute themselves who isn't speaking, and we'll start this thing off.
welcome all to our 2021 Solutions event and our 10-year anniversary of the Image Center of Maryland. We would like to start the evening with remarks from our chairman of the board, Janice Jackson. Janice became a part of the disability community in 1984 when she was struck by a car at 24 years old. Janice is the founder and executive director of Women Embracing Abilities Now, a nonprofit mentoring program for women and young ladies, with various disabilities throughout Maryland and the surrounding areas. Janice is an adjunct professor at the University of Baltimore, where she has been teaching business ethics to undergrads for 16 years. Janice serves on many boards and commissions. She is a 3-time winner of the Top 100 Woman of the Year award. She has been called on by singer/actress Queen Latifah's campaign to participate in the CoverGirl makeup line, The Queen Collection. This ad was featured in the iconic Ebony magazine. Her most notable recognition was the Obama Award given in 2012, the Citizenship Award. This is the second highest civilian award bestowed by a president of the United States for exemplary community service. Janice has turned her tragedies into triumphs and her struggles into strengths. Please join me in welcoming Janice Jackson.
Thank you, Amani, for that amazing introduction. And good evening. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone that this program is being recorded and that we do have a sign language interpreter as well as closed captioning. As the current board president and on behalf of the board and staff of the Image Center, we would like to welcome all of you to this festival celebration. We were hoping that we could see each one of you in person, but as we all have learned in the last year and a half due to COVID, Zoom is the next best thing to being there. This year, the Image Center is celebrating its first decade of service as a center for independent living, managed by people with disabilities, for people with disabilities. I am so grateful to have been a part of this wonderful organization right from the beginning. Witnessing the birthing and growing pains were humbling, but to see how the Image Center has matured into such a productive organization has made this mama volunteer very proud. As much as we are excited about each of you being here this evening, we are just as excited about this being our second Solution Celebration, where we come together to honor those who are helping to change lives of individuals with disabilities by inspiring, uplifting, and empowering. So on this Zoom celebration call tonight, along with our honorees, we have a wide variety of guests. We have board members, staff members, volunteer engineers, occupational therapists, physical therapists, students, other centers for independent living services, consumers, and advocates, all coming together to celebrate the Image Center's 2020 accomplishments. Our program agenda this evening will include the presentation of the awards, video recaps, and brief remarks from the awardees. At this time, we will present an exciting video which will recap the Image Center providing life care services to more than 25,000 Marylanders, including veterans, children, and families.
Don't give up on your dream.
Okay.
Now, do you feel safe in there?
Very.
Good, okay.
Wow. What an amazing year the Image Center has had in 2020. And remember, all of this was done during a full-blown pandemic. That speaks volumes for Mike and the staff. And as board member, we are just so proud of the Image Center pushing through a pandemic and never missing a beat while serving individuals with disabilities. At this time, I'd like to introduce to you the young man who is at the head of this amazing organization, who will share remarks about the vision and future of the Image Center and serving those with disabilities. Honored guest, I'd like to introduce to you Michael Bullis.
Well, thank you very much. And maybe the last time I get called a young man. So, you know, whatever, I'll slip you the $20 after we're done here. Right? I can't tell you all what an honor it is to do this work, to be a part of changing the meaning of disability for everyone. I think 10 years ago when we adopted that as our phrase, everybody was like, are you sure? Are you sure you're going to change the meaning of disability for everyone? And the answer is yes, we can. Yes, we can make a difference throughout the world to people with disabilities, their families, their lives. And we can help people have jobs. We can help people live normal lives. We can help people raise their children. We stand at an incredible threshold of opportunity as technology changes and as human nature, as people generally change, they more and more are recognizing that at some time in everyone's life, there will be disabilities, and that feeling badly about that disability is a part of the process, but learning what you can do with the disability, what you can accomplish with the disability, getting your life back with a disability, that's what the Image Center sends, is a message of you can do this. We have challenges. We still work tirelessly on the idea of a disability solutions gateway, the idea that people with disabilities ought to be able to go to a web portal and see people just like them who have their disability and see the solutions that are available for the hundreds and hundreds of different types of disabilities, because seeing is believing. We all learn primarily through seeing other people do things and then doing them ourselves. So having that capability can transform the world as people learn about their specific disability and connect up with others just like them. We still have challenges, though. We have not yet got that disability solutions gateway, but we're working on it. We're getting there. We have to expand the reach of our device creation as well. We make such incredible devices. You'll hear about some of them tonight, but to the millions of people throughout the world who don't yet know about them, who don't know about these solutions, and to the tens of thousands of people who could benefit from one of our devices, we still need to reach them. So we have not just a local mission to serve Maryland, but an international mission to serve the world. And we will be expanding those efforts as we go. We still have some other challenges as well. Some of the work we do pays the bills, that is, keeps the doors open, but it's really not quite on mission. We do the work because it pays the bills, but we look forward to a time when everything we do is mission focused. We're still about $250,000 a year away from having no waiting lists for services, for independent living services. That $250,000 will come. We need stable funding from corporate or other private partners to help us so that we can hire the staff to really affect lives as opposed to having people wait sometimes for months before they can get our services. I know that we will find that steady funding stream. We will find that person or corporation or a group of individuals who believe in us enough to help us make that happen. Our volunteers and our staff are competent and knowledgeable and amazing. And our solutions are so broad these days, folks. I don't know whether you think about it much, but whether it's mentoring a newly disabled person. I met someone yesterday who recently became a quadriplegic, and we're immediately setting up time to get together with that person, to talk to them, to introduce them to other people who are quadriplegic, so that he can see this life is a life worth living. Helping someone play the guitar who doesn't have good hand use. It's not all serious business here, folks. Creating a device for a new mom so she can get her baby in and out of the crib. Introducing teens to the responsibilities of adulthood. Yay, Jess and your team are phenomenal. Helping a senior who's losing vision learn to use an iPhone. Funding a ramp for somebody so they can get in and out of their houses. Modifying a bike so a kid can, in his neighborhood, go around, ride his bike just like all of his buddies. Making a special kitchen platform so someone can cook in their own kitchen. Helping someone find accessible housing. That is God's work. I will tell you, there is such a need for us to have a team out looking for good, solid, accessible houses that people can move into. We make dreams come true each and every day. Our board, our volunteers, and our staff are making a huge difference. They're committed, caring, and competent. That's the way I think of it. And it's such an honor to work with them. Thank you to each and every one of you who are here tonight for being a part of who we are and what we are. It's an honor to be here and to be a part of this. When I was very young, I will tell you that I used to say, I want to make a difference. I want to do something special. I want to know that my life counted in some way. And it's been a true honor to have participated in this organization and what you all do, because it really has helped me understand that life is about making a difference and that it does happen. I want to introduce now Jessica Leone. Jess is one of the early people who was at our center when we barely had a desk to put on the floor and no chairs to sit behind the desk. But Jess has been with us working to operate our Teen Connect programs and continues to find new and innovative ways to serve teens with significant disabilities. So I want to turn it over to Jess for a presentation of an award. Jess?
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. And good evening to everybody out there in the Zoom world. As Mike mentioned, I am Jessica Leone. I've been with Image for many years, and over those many years, I have had the privilege of connecting many students and their families to services And tonight I have the honor to highlight two very special students who have been with our program for a very long time and who play a tremendous role in both our Image Connect program as well as our peer mentorship for teens and young adults. So our first honoree of the evening is Miss Rebecca Parker. Rebecca has participated in Image Teen and Young Adult programs since 2016. And over the last 5 years, Rebecca has grown from a shy, cautious participant in our Connect program to a confidently aware self-advocate selected as our first ever peer mentor in that program. Rebecca has served as a student advocate in many instances, sharing her journey toward greater independence with fellow students of many different programs. At Image, we have watched Rebecca shape her abilities and set job readiness goals that best suit her passion of helping others. Rebecca has made contributions to Image programming, helping to pave the way for other student advocates, and we could not be prouder of her growth and her progress. And at this time, I would like to give Rebecca a moment to say a few words and officially introduce her, Miss Rebecca Parker, as our 2021 Student of the Year. Rebecca, welcome this evening.
Hello. Hi, I'm Rebecca Parker, and thank you for this award. I like being a peer mentor because I like helping people, and I'm patient, calm, and understanding. I have grown by being a leader, and others will too from this experience.
Thank you, Rebecca, and congratulations again on being our 2021 Student of the Year. Additionally, this evening, we'd like to provide special recognition to Miss Sierra Gentry. Sierra has been with Image Teen and Young Adult programs for the last 3 years. Most recently, she began contributing to our programs as a peer mentor. And in this role, Sierra works to assist her peers by exuberating skills of leadership and self-advocacy. Tonight, we would like to congratulate her and give her special recognition in receiving the Peer Mentor of the Year Award. Thank you, Sierra, for your contribution to our programs. We are so proud of the steps you are taking to grow your own independence, but also that of your peers. So congratulations to Sierra as well. Next slide. I'm going to introduce the Exelon Corporation slide. So I believe that's Mr. Mike Bullis.
All right, thank you very much, Jess, and congratulations to those 2 award winners. It's a pleasure to have you all here and to be a part of your lives, and watching you grow makes us better for it. It comes time now to present our Corporate Partner of the Year, and for those of you who have been around Image for the last year, this will come as no surprise, but a brief story would help. Approximately 3 years ago, Laura DeKlusky, one of our phenomenal board members who has contributed of her time and of her funding and of her funds and has asked Exelon Corporation to match her contributions to us. She has just been a phenomenal partner with us. She came to us and said, we have this opportunity in the IT department at Exelon Corporation, does an annual golf tournament. Would you guys like to see if they'll select you as their awardee? Well, as many people know, I've jokingly said over the years that the reason we don't have a golf tournament is because we can't afford it. And the reason we couldn't afford it was because usually you spend the first 4 or 5 years starting any golf tournament, not making any money, but losing money. And so I just said, we can't afford to lose a bunch of money on that. But you know what? The Exelon folks, they helped us by bringing in all the sponsors, bringing in all the work. It was amazing. It was an amazing opportunity. And so we tried out the first year and didn't get it. And then the second year we came back again and got the award. And then the pandemic hit about a week and a half later. So now, finally, on September 13th, we were able to have the Exelon IT Charity Golf Tournament with over 100 players. It was truly an exciting experience. We met lots of corporate partners throughout the region, and raised over $100,000. I can't tell you how powerful that is and how wonderful that is for us. I want to thank everyone who participated. It was truly a full court effort to do this. But I want to introduce the person who we couldn't have done it without, and who really made all the difference and made this stuff look simple. Andy and Terry and some of the folks. But tonight, to accept this award as our corporate partner of the year is Andy Marchica. Andrew, come on up. I guess you can't come up, but I'd like you to say a few words.
I'm coming on up, Mike. Yep.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. No, well, Mike, first let me say thank you so much for this tremendous honor. It's been so inspiring just witnessing the wonderful work that the Image Center of Maryland performs in our community, and the things that you're doing to educate folks about people with disabilities and empowering them. So really thank you, and thank the Image Center for all the work that you do in the community. So Mike, first, thanks to you. You've been tremendous to work with, and all the other Image Center staff that we worked with over the past year and a half now, because we had to wait, couldn't hold the event in 2020, but we held our 12th annual event in September this year, and it went off without a hitch on account of all the hard work. Something like this doesn't happen by accident. It takes a lot of dedicated people focusing and working together to make it happen. So in addition to Mike, Abe Wasserberger, Heather Comstock, Angela Tyler from the Image Center were huge. And then on the Exelon side, Mike mentioned earlier, Terry Carter. This event just doesn't happen without Terry. She does such good work at Exelon, and this tournament, this event, it means so much to her. And the fact that we can still put it on year in, year out when there's not a pandemic, it means a lot. Sarah Kunko was also huge. Misha Brown, Kim Kobe from Exelon, they're kind of in charge of organizing all of our volunteers and making sure that everything leading up to the event goes smoothly. So thanks to them. I'd also be remiss if I don't thank some of the event top sponsors, kind of the reason why we're able to raise all this money each year. So thanks so much to Zones, who's our tournament sponsor. Our platinum sponsor was Cisco this year. Our gold sponsor was Winval, and the silver sponsor was Accenture. Again, this just does not happen without the dedication of the volunteers, the generosity of our sponsors, and all that sweat equity that comes from charities like the Image Center, organizations like the Image Center that really can make this event such a wonderful experience for everybody involved. So thank you for this tremendous honor.
Well, thank you again. You guys made it look easy, and it was a lot of fun as well. We had a beautiful day, 80 degrees or so, and everybody was able to social distance and have a ball. So thanks again for everything you guys did. And again, a special thanks to Laura DeKluski for making all of these connections and making this happen. We couldn't do it without you, Laura.
Thank you.
Thanks, Andy. All right. Our next award is our Community Partner of the Year award. This one too will probably come as no surprise to many of you because of her incredible involvement with the Image Center over the years. Right from the beginning, she was there with student occupational therapists to help us figure out what we were doing. She has had her students work at least for 3 years that I know of on the Disability Solutions Gateway project for us. She had this year sent 10 of her students to work with us. She is Marlene Riley. She's professor of, she's from the Department of Occupational Therapy and Occupational Science. There we go. Sorry. She's really been a fine friend. She works with our youth services. She is there for us anytime. And she volunteers with VME, or Volunteers for Medical Engineering projects. She's a great communicator, pleasant to work with, and is just a strong promoter of the Image Center. And we can't thank her enough, because without believers like Marlene, we couldn't do this. Marlene, would you like to say a few words?
Hi, Mike.
Hey.
First of all, I think of the Image Center as just such a great community. You know, it's a nonprofit, but really it's made up of so many wonderful people. And I have to say that I used to work with VME when they were on Argonne, and Angela, volunteer extraordinaire coordinator. And then I worked with Jess at Image in Towson. So you all did me a huge favor by joining together and consolidating into one place. So, you know, I have to say that I think that I have to hold the award up here and just say how much I love just the theme of solutions, because, you know, we live in a time when people are, you know, identifying problems and what we don't have and all that. But, you know, working with Jess, with the young adults, and with Angela and VME and all the volunteers, it's just what you said, Mike. It's all about solutions and letting other people know that those solutions can extend to each and every person that has that need. And most importantly, I just want to thank everyone for how you've been such great role models for our students, because that's what's really, really important. That, you know, when they have role models of people who care and are doing things because they like to do them, you know, it's very different than sending them to a fieldwork placement where people are complaining. So I thank you all for that, for what I've had to gain and for what the students have had to gain from your nonprofit, Mike.
Well, we look forward to it. We look forward to many years to come. And again, you know, we love OTs, because OTs are all about solutions. It's the greatest profession in the world. I had the pleasure to serve on the Maryland Occupational Therapy Association board for a while. We just love people who see disability as a challenge waiting for a solution, because it changes the whole paradigm. So thank you again, Marlene, very much for everything you've done with us.
Thank you.
All right. Terry Parrish is now going to talk to you folks about who C. David Ward was and sort of introduce our next award. You unmuted, Terry?
Terry, if you press Alt-A on your keyboard, it will unmute you.
How about now?
There you go. You got it. Girl.
There we go.
All
Thank
right,
you
thank
very much. Okay. On May the 8th, 2020, we lost a giant. But if you attended Dave Ward's celebration of life, you felt and experienced the power of our friend. At the end of the outdoor ceremony of tributes, we had sunshine, lightning, thunder, downpours, hail, and sunshine again. As everyone ran for cover, we just shook our heads, knowing that he got the last laugh. The giant of Dave Ward spoke. The tribute in the program that day of Dave's celebration of life stated, "Sometimes the things we can't change end up changing us." Dave Ward was the agent of change. I met Dave at Good Samaritan because the same year we both were in accidents or going through rehabilitation together. The next 42 years, his determination and adorable smile brought about changes that forever improve and enhance still the lives of Marylanders with disabilities. His accomplishments are almost too long to list, but some of the memorable ones were: he initiated the first Maryland gubernatorial debates focusing on improving the lives for citizens with disabilities. He did this with another pioneer, you may remember, Joel Meyerberg. Dave and Joel also partnered and created a free day at Port Discovery for children with disabilities. Governor Ehrlich turned to Dave while creating the first Department of Disabilities in Maryland. The home where Dave lived was known as Future Home. a house that showcased the power of technology. This partnership with VME allowed everything in his house to work by being voice activated. At Future Home, there was also an annex that he named the Barn. He used that venue for meetings and other more celebratory events with the player piano and his many favorite libations. Dave Ward knew how to entertain while being a premier advocate. He and Dave Thompson were my mentors, and he passed the torch on to me, leading the Baltimore County Commission on Disabilities. Dave Ward chaired our image board for many years, and he is missed. Tonight, we celebrate another giant who is also quite an agent of change. Mike Bullis is going to introduce the person who's going to receive the very first recipient of the Dave Ward Lifetime Achievement Honor. Mike.
Thank you, Terry. Yes, and as a mention, at least we don't want to forget that VME was incredibly powerful in helping Dave make that future home. So history goes back and history repeats itself. So it's been a real honor to really finally sort of unify everything, because VME really helped Dave Ward make his life and move forward. And then we've been able to benefit from Dave. Dave was a founding member of the board of Image, and was there fighting every day. Advocacy is some of the toughest work we do, folks. And everyone likes the glory of maybe we're going to go picket, maybe we're going to do this, going to do that. But the truth is, most often when advocacy works, it engenders hostility. People don't like you. People say that you must be wrong about your advocacy. You must have the wrong understanding of what needs to be done. It means that sometimes you're going to be attacked personally and professionally. When earlier this year, we thought about how we were going to work to get shots in the arms of people during a pandemic, we knew we needed a strong advocate, not somebody who just saw a job, but somebody who understood that the emergency is now, that it is a once in a lifetime event, and everything you have has to go into that job. And she did that. Cheryl Grossman, from the day she started, was working from 6 in the morning until midnight, never turned down a phone call. I know she took some at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning as well, in order to get people to vaccine sites, to set up the infrastructure to help people get vaccinated, to get the word out into the community, to help there become accessible sites for people with disabilities, sites that were fully accessible. And the work continues to go on. Cheryl is still leading our efforts. She saves lives every day. We can't thank her enough for her personal and professional commitment. She exemplifies the Dave Ward commitment to advocacy, to the fight for people with disabilities, to the rights of people with disabilities, and to getting through this pandemic and saving lives. I want to introduce to you Cheryl Grossman. Cheryl, thank you so much for everything you've done.
Well, thank you, Mike, and thank you to all of the Image Center staff and board who made tonight possible and who chose me for this. I'm very, very humbled to be the recipient of this award that I'm holding up. It's very humbling. You are correct. This work is a life's work. And really, I stand on the shoulders of so many who work alongside me every day, not just waving the pom-poms, but getting themselves dirty in the trenches with me. The ambassadors from Baltimore City, folks with disabilities who have helped me along the way, who have helped to build this infrastructure, and also our partner organizations, Before Holim and others, who have seen the wisdom of what an inclusive and accessible vaccination site look like, and have really picked up those reins and allowed us to expand those opportunities for people with disabilities. So really, I stand on very tall shoulders, very broad shoulders, and I'm very humbled for this award and very excited to continue this work to save lives every day, and hope to see you back out in those trenches starting tomorrow morning.
I know you, some of your team is here. Tyler, I think, is out there. She's been a strong advocate for this project. I know that you've really reached out into the entire community. So thank you all very much for this incredible work. There's nothing right now more important than getting those shots in those arms. So thank you very much for fighting the good fight and making it happen. All right, our next award. Now we're getting down to the ones you guys have been waiting for. The VME Project of the Year Award. Now, Volunteers for Medical Engineering, every year we have to work hard to think up a project of the year, because usually there are about 20 that we want to give awards to. But this year, like all other years, we had to pick a project of the year. Only it was, again, an easy job this year, because somebody came to us early on, late last year, with an impossible, what we thought of as an impossible task, and wanted to get her mom to take her out to dinner from the nursing facility that she lived in. The only problem was she had trouble getting her mom. She wanted a device that would help get her mom out of the chair and into the car. And then she wanted a device once they were to get back out of the car and into the chair. And then she wanted the same device to be able to go into a restroom so that she could help her mom, so that her mom could stand up and turn around, use the restroom, and then get back into the, and we said, and I'll be honest, we all basically just said, you know what? This is just too many things in one device. We're not sure we can make this happen. But we thought about it for a while, and thanks to some of our colleagues, we were able to reach out to MIT. We decided, when in doubt, go to the best, and we went to MIT and asked for their help. And they have created an absolutely amazing project that will be delivered later this fall. It has worldwide application, because nothing like this has ever been created before. So let me introduce to you Dan Frye. Mr. Frye, if you want to say a few words, we would love to hear from you. And again, we can't thank you guys so much for your incredible your creative thinking, and all the students that you worked with who pulled this off.
Thanks so much for the kind introduction. I want to say I feel really happy and grateful. This is a wonderful recognition, a beautiful trophy, so well made. Thank you so much. I am happy to accept it and say thank you on behalf of our whole team, our volunteers, Steve Bailey and Dr. Carolyn Chinovsky and Helena Davis. They have been tremendous in providing their professional support, and really co-designers of this. I want to say thank you to the students, Isabel Barnett, David Olegon, and Laura Rosado, for their hard work in executing the design and going through the testing process with me. I want to say thank you to Jamie Gurganis and Charlie Reese. I want to say thank you to the whole VME community, because when we come together and give our progress reports, we get such useful input. Some ideas are wild and crazy, some are grounded and practical. We get the whole range, and it's so helpful to our process. And let me finally say thank you to Ann and Dot, really giving us inspiration, and helping us to see clearly and in detail the user perspective, which is so important. So again, thank you very much for inviting us into your community and for giving this very generous recognition.
Well, and thank you again. You've been truly inspiring to us too. You took on a hard project and made it happen. So thanks again for helping us see that even sometimes, when you think you can't find a solution, there's one out there, and it causes us to reach further every time to say, look, let's not accept no for an answer. And, thanks so much to Jamie and Gurganis and Charlie Rice. They both connected us with MIT. So we appreciate everything you guys have done. All right. Now we have 2 volunteers of the year because we couldn't decide between them. And so when in doubt, there was just no way to make this decision for one person. So we have 2 volunteers of the year award. I want to first speak about Vince Guyan. Vince is really the key behind our partnership with the University of Maryland. He was awarded Professor of the Year for his VME work in 2019. He helped us promote what we do and promoted it on campus. He's mentored teams for 3 years now in 2019, 2021, and 20 and 21. He participates in our bike clinics. He's an incredibly insightful and critical thinker as we go through our PrAC meetings. And he joined us on TV for our annual What I Wish campaign. Vince has been everywhere and done everything for us, and we so appreciate it. Vince, congratulations on the Volunteer of the Year award.
Thank you very much. So when I first attended a PrAC meeting, I don't know, it was maybe 2017 or so, I just remember being so impressed with the types of projects and the work that VME was working on. And I just remember just sitting there thinking, like, this is really what engineers should be doing. Like, this is really what we need to be doing. And I'm so grateful just to be sitting here among all these great volunteers and great engineers, let alone being able to be, celebrated with this award. So overall in life, like, I use a pretty simple metric, and it works for me for everything. It works professionally and sports, everything. Like, it's just basically stop and think and ask the questions like, would my kids be proud of me for this? And it actually works pretty well, because like if it's something that's too complicated or not impressionable enough for kids, then, maybe it's not something that's all that. So, in my constant chase of like getting clout, getting my kids to be impressed by me, I always bring them around and make them do everything that I do and get into everything that I get into. And VME was no different than that. So they help me build everything. They go to client meetings and deliveries. They test devices with me. And some of them even go to PrAC meetings with me. Some of them maybe not as voluntary as the other ones, but out of necessity. But one of the big telling aspects, I think, about just how cool and fulfilling the nature of VME projects are is the fact that they're always super excited to work on VME projects. It doesn't matter what it is. Like, I never have to ask them to come along for a build or to come to a bike clinic. They always are, resoundingly, absolutely yes. So, in that measuring stick of impressing my kids, I would say that this goes a very long way towards building my street cred here at my house. So I'm personally very attached to that. But maybe on a more serious note, I love that my daughter, who's just going to first grade right now, if you were to ask her what engineering is, and if you were to ask her what an engineer does, she would say an engineer is someone who builds things that helps people. And that's pretty cool. As we go to the next level and we try to educate the next round of future engineers, and they're going out there to tackle the existential, social, global, environmental problems that we're facing today, that simple idea that we should be here to help people is just something that's maybe more important now than ever. So, as an engineer, as a person, there's just something so innately true and natural and innately fulfilling about going out there and trying to help somebody in your local community and really make a difference in their lives. So I really want to thank VME, and I really want to thank all the volunteers for providing the structure, the organization, really just a platform for us to stand up and try to do good as best as we can. And I'm absolutely grateful to VME for providing just this very real opportunity for the possibility of sharing this fundamentally fulfilling aspect with both my students and my family. So thank you.
Dad creds are absolutely important. Good job. Thank you so much, Vince. Our second Volunteer of the Year award goes to Carolyn Chinovsky. Carolyn is a retired physical therapist from Baltimore County Public Schools. She became a volunteer for us in 2017. And in 2020, gave over 100 hours of her time. She works on Zoom client site visits. She fully participates in our bike and rollator clinics. She's got provides medical solutions to help us with our clients. She mentors students on their projects. She recently worked with the MIT folks. And she brings lots of smiles and laughs, as we've all known. So Carolyn, thank you so much for everything that you do. And thank you very much for being a part of this wonderful thing that we call VME Image. So would you like to say a few words?
Yes, Michael, thank you so much. You know, I am so humbled to receive this award, but I really think that there's been some kind of mistake, because everyone at VME works so hard and generously gives of their time and their talent. Every moment that I've worked with VMA has been a pleasure. Each project, every bike clinic has met a need for someone and has made someone happy. I've met so many wonderful people through VME. The engineers are so creative with the solutions that they devise, and the students, I worked with those students from MIT. They're brilliant. They're scary. They're so smart. and Angela, who is the grease that keeps all the wheels turning smoothly. Angela, it's always a joy to work with you. It's truly been my pleasure and my privilege to be part of Image VMA, and I hope to continue for many years in the future. Thank you very much.
Well, again, and thank you so much as well. It's a pleasure to have people of your talent and knowledge and abilities and sense of humor to be with us to really make those differences. So thanks a lot. I now have the pleasure of introducing Angela Tyler, who's going to give a few more awards and recognitions. Angela is the VME coordinator. As everybody will tell you, she makes it all happen. She's one of the most organized people I've ever met. And I was going to say more organized than me, but everybody's more organized than me. So, but she's just a phenomenal person to work with. She's pleasant. She never makes it look hard. She never loses her poise and control, at least not around me and not around any of us. She just always, as somebody said earlier, she always figures out the answers, helps everybody move forward, and creates such a positive environment that really makes a difference. Angela Tyler, you got some awards to present?
I do.
Right.
Thank you, Mike, for those beautiful comments. And really, I couldn't do any of this without our volunteers. I mean, it's really all about them and just supporting them and helping them do what they do best. And that's what I do. And tonight I have the honor and the true privilege to talk about our volunteers, the engineers, the occupational therapists, the physical therapists. Sometimes we have nurses as well, our amazing students from across 12 different partner schools throughout Maryland and also now in Massachusetts. So right now we're going to talk about two recognitions. And the first one, we want to talk about our students. And each year we started honoring our students through what we call the Vme Alumni of the Year. And in this case, Alumnae of the Year. And this year it goes to Isabella Gudina. And as Isabella is amazing. We actually call her Bella. And back in 2019, she came to me, she gave me a call and said, how can we get the Hispanic Society of Professional Engineers involved with VME? And this is from UMBC's campus. And so from there, we talked a little bit, we brainstormed, and Bella just took it by storm. So she organized some volunteers. She had some of her fellow students come to our rollator clinic, as we see here pictured on the screen. She promoted VME on UMBC's campus. And then in her senior year, she did a capstone project for Monty Graham. She did the treadmill project. She was one of the team members on that project, and they did a beautiful job. Isabella is so beautiful to work with. She's now working professionally, grad school as well, and she's just a joy. So this award is definitely honored and should go to her. So Bella, good job, go girl. Okay, so from here, we're gonna talk about our next award. And that is our bike team. And they are what we call our project, or our team of the year, excuse me. And let me give you a little background about this particular team. Back in 2014, we formed something called a bike clinic, and it was named after Andy Kahn, Dr. Andy Kahn, who passed on, who was very involved in building bikes for our children. So we started doing these bike clinics. Bikes happen to be our #1 request that we receive. And we put together a team of volunteers. We put them all in a room, like 40 to 50 volunteers. They build multiple bikes in one day, and then the children ride the bikes and take them home at the end of the day. Well, now fast forward to 2020, and now the pandemic hits. And now we're not able to do the bikes as we would like to do it as a team in one room. But then we had a group of volunteers who said, you know what, let's keep this train moving and let's go ahead and actually build the bikes from home. So what we did is each team member had a specific client they built a bike for. They built it, tested it, delivered it, and the kids were on their way. So we want to give you a behind the scenes look at the smiles, what we call the smiles behind the mask, because last year as we were delivering bikes, everyone had on masks, but there are smiles that are behind those masks. So let's take a look and see what you may not see behind the scenes. Let's take a look at the video.
What are you doing? Riding a bike. Whose bike is it? My own bike.
So there we have it. That's pretty cool, right? These are all children that are ages 10 to 19. They were throughout Maryland and various parts of the state. And we really want to thank the bike team for putting their energy together and building these bikes from their home workshops. And that includes Art, Brian, Carolyn, Dave, David, Dan, Jim and Denise, John and Laura, Kirk and Vince. So thumbs up to them, and we really, really appreciate. And also thumbs up to Vince's children as well, because they help build and test the bikes too. Incredible, incredible work. So let's not forget about all of our other volunteers, if we can move on to our next slide. We have amazing volunteers. I mean, they give their time, their talent. We brainstorm, we work it out. And the bottom line is we're just creating solutions for children and adults. And we really, really enjoy each other. We have a good time. We laugh, we cry with tears of joy, and we just really work well together. I just want to thank all of our volunteers for everything that you do. I learned so much from you, and you really, really bring smiles and tears of joy to our clients. So thank you so much. There's another group of people that we should mention as well as we move on to our next slide. And I think you should know, we have 12 schools that we actually partner with. And we could not do this without our schools as well. We mentor every year about 100 to 125 students. Each school has a volunteer engineer and often a medical professional who supports the students as they build and as they fabricate and deliver projects. So we want to thank those schools as well. And if we could bring up the next slide, please, to actually show the list of those schools throughout the state as well as in Massachusetts. So we have we have high schools, community colleges, as well as universities too. So hats off to those schools and a shout out to all the professors there as well. Moving on, one more thing I think we should mention, we had a volunteer student, his name is David Godoy. He came to us and said, you know what, I played the saxophone, can I include the music? And one of our staff members, Amanda, actually got him to put together music. So the opening music that you heard to this program, that was him. And once Mike finishes his closing remarks, you will hear his music as well. So special shout out to David as well. So I think that brings my remarks to a close, and I'll turn this back over to Mike.
Thank you, Angela, and thanks to all of the volunteers. Special shout out to John Hogg, who bird dogs those prac meetings. He is a phenomenal, I don't think people realize how he does what he does, but he is phenomenal at keeping that group in order and on track and doing it with an easy touch that makes everybody feel creative and open and yet moves things right along. So I want to take a minute to just say thank you to the staff, the volunteers, the donors. We're going to get, I think we've got a picture of all of our staff up there. I can't remember what the occasion was exactly, but we did manage to get everybody together. I think there may be a couple missing, but thank you so much to all of you for being here tonight. Thanks for, and I want to bring up our list of sponsors because that list is incredible. You're the people who make doing this possible, to make you provide the infrastructure for what we're able to accomplish. I can't tell you how much we thank you. With all the challenges that we have, we need to stop sometimes and think about how grateful we are for what we've got, because that's really, that's due to all of you. And with that, I want to thank each and every person here, our board, our staff, our sponsors, everyone. And thanks to the, I just can't say how grateful, how grateful we are for everything that each of you does to make a difference in the lives of people with disabilities and turns disability from a problem into a solution. Thank you.